I do, of course, apologize if this turns out to be a pointless exercise, but in the pursuit of scientific knowledge, even the smallest opportunity must be explored. Engineers established in Colonia. The Colonia Council has announced that 4 engineers have established bases in the Colonia region to provide services to independent pilots. Council flight assist off. Zenkin Sphere gave a statement to the media. The Council believes it has a duty to support those who flight assist on. Who contribute so much to the region's stability. That's why we have consulted with engineers in the crew systems to identify individuals who can offer similar services here in Colonia. Consequently, we now have 4 engineers. Military plan has laid bases in the region. Mal Brandon is based in Lutay and specializes in laser-based armaments, shields, engines and frame shift drives. Etienne Dawn in the Loose system, once lead engineer for Kraken Field Specialists. Flight assist off. Is an expert on sensors, scanners and high-energy weaponry, among other things. Her total is in the solar system and works with ship armor, countermeasures and explosive weapons, and marsh helix in the tier system. The weapon. Starport status update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues as a result of Thargoid sensor-related. Week in review. Here are this week's major stories. Independent pilots have engaged a previously unseen type of Thargoid vessel in both the Pleiades Nebula and the core systems. Admiral Aidan Tanner, Aegis's chief military liaison, confirmed that the new ship, classified as the Hydra, is a variant of the Thargoid Interceptor. Federal President Zachary Hudson has announced that Aegis Corps is to relocate from Sochi to the federal home system of Seoul. The move is a response. Engineer Ramtar has detected unusual energy signatures in the NGC 2451A sector, the IC2391 sector and the Sinu FENH region. While the precise nature of the signals is unclear, Ramtar has encouraged independent pilots to investigate. In other news, the Colonia Council has announced that 4 engineers have established bases in the Colonia region to provide services to independent pilots. According to a statement, the Council consulted with engineers in the core systems to identify individuals who could offer similar services in Colonia. The date of Princess Aisling Duval's wedding to Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester has passed without comment from either party. While Emperor Arissa and President Hudson are thought to be pleased with the cancellation of the wedding, the silence from Aisling Duval and Jordan Rochester leaves questions about the legitimacy of their relationship unanswered. Maddox Hurd, owner of Herculean Machines, has publicly dismissed the efforts of rival company Supertech. Mr. Hurd denounced the idea of wearable devices as ridiculous, prompting Supertech CEO Scorpio Devoro to describe him as a man of limited imagination. Meanwhile, Alliance President Gibson Kincaid has begun lobbying to invest the position of president with executive powers. He has also said that the incumbent should remain in office for 6 years, instead of a maximum of 2 one-year terms. Prime Minister Redmond Mahone has voiced his opposition to the proposal. Juanita Bishop, a leading campaigner against the Thargoid cult, has announced that she is running for federal Congress. Mrs. Bishop's vocal condemnation of Thargoid worship has gained her a strong following in many federal systems. She is now campaigning to be elected to Congress as an independent candidate. In related news, the Thargoid sect has issued a public request for Thargoid materials. It is understood that the objects will be revered as objects of worship, and will not be used in any xenobiological experiments. Finally, authorities in the Betel system have confirmed that the conflict between Betel Free and the Silver Creative Network has come to an end. Both factions received support from independent combat pilots, to whom generous rewards were promised, but ultimately there could be only one victor. It is hoped that the cessation of hostilities will preface a period of peace. And those are the main stories this week. Week in review. Here are this week's major stories. The wedding of Princess Aisling Duval and Ambassador Jordan Rochester has been cancelled. The announcement follows anti-slavery campaigner Jan Toredo's confession that he and Aisling Duval were romantically involved for several months. Meanwhile, Lakon Spaceways has announced that a new ship, the Alliance Crusader, will go on general sale on Tuesday the 28th of August. The ship, which is based on the Alliance Chieftain, boasts 3 internal military compartments and a fighter bay. Rival technology companies Supertech and Herculean Machines have released press statements promoting new personal computer designs. Both companies have also confirmed they will be at the Rackham Ultratech Expo on Wednesday the 3rd of October, where they will reveal fully functional prototypes of their new devices. In other news, the Federal Intelligence Agency has revealed that members of the Far God cult are disappearing in large numbers. While the FIA has speculated that adherents are abandoning the cult and attempting to return to normal life, there have been no reports of former Far God worshippers returning to their friends and families. An expose published by the Mars Tribune has revealed that federal Congressman Morgan Unwin has close ties to a criminal organization. Information uncovered by the Tribune proves that Unwin used his influence to traffic drugs for the Red Family Cartel in order to keep his own addiction secret. Recent reports from the Betel system indicate that an ongoing feud between the Silver Creative Network and Betel 3 has escalated into violence. With system security forces stretched thin, both organizations are seizing the opportunity to settle old grudges, and have issued calls for support. Finally, the Colonia Council has announced that its campaign to build a new hydroponics facility has been warmly received by the galactic community. Large quantities of material were delivered to Templar Barracks over the past week, allowing the initiative to move to the construction phase. And those are the main stories this week. Lakon releases Alliance Crusader. Lakon Spaceways has announced that a new ship, the Alliance Crusader, will soon be available for purchase. Mira Kalanak, head of military projects at Lakon, gave some details to the media. The Alliance Crusader is mechanically similar to the Alliance Chieftain, with one key distinction. Our engineers have removed some internal hardware to accommodate a fighter bay. Inevitably, this means the Crusader is marginally slower and less maneuverable than its siblings, but this is compensated by its ability to ferry fighters into a conflict zone. The Crusader's offensive capabilities are enhanced with 3 internal military compartments. We are confident that the ship will be able to hold its own in any combat situation, especially against the Thargoids. The Alliance Crusader will go on general sale on Tuesday the 28th of August. Computer firms promote new designs. Rival technology companies Supertech and Herculean Machines have released press statements promoting new personal computer designs. Scorpio Devorro, CEO of Supertech, told the media about his company's forthcoming product. The talk employs cutting-edge holographic technology, surrounding you in a personalized world. Its hollow interfaces respond to subtle gestures and its flexible crystalline structure makes it as elegant as jewelry. By comparison, competitors' devices are as rudimentary as pen and paper. Maddox Hurd, owner of Herculean Machines, also made a statement. Fancy holograms might look pretty, but what matters is being able to withstand whatever life throws at you. The Jura Drive is designed for those who work hard and expect their tools to stand up to the challenge. However tough you think you are, the Jura Drive is tougher. Both companies have confirmed that they will be at the Rackham Ultratech Expo on Wednesday the 3rd of October. The technology trade show, sponsored by Rackham Capital Investments, focuses on the personal device market. Both companies aim to have fully functional prototypes ready for the expo. Order restored in Kamichi. Kamichi Incorporated has announced that its campaign to clear the Kamichi system of felons has been a success. Hundreds of pilots responded to the appeal, taking to their ships to eliminate the criminals operating in the system. Authorities in Kamichi have extended their gratitude to those who participated in the operation. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their rewards from Game and Port in the Kamichi system. The Battle for Betel. Recent reports from the Betel system indicate that an ongoing feud between the Silver Creative Network and the Betel 3 has escalated into violence. General Hollis of Betel Security issued the following statement. After a lengthy period of peace, these factions are now determined to wipe one another out. As much as we want to subdue this conflict ourselves, We simply do not have the ships to stage an effective intervention. With system security forces stretched thin, both organizations are seizing the opportunity to settle old grudges, and have issued calls for support. Pilots who participate in the conflict will be generously rewarded by their chosen faction. The two factions have set out week-long operations to take control of the system, which will begin on the 23rd August 3304. Colonia Hydroponics Initiative concludes. The Colonia Council has announced that its campaign to build a new hydroponics facility has been warmly received by the galactic community. Large quantities of material were delivered to Templar Barracks over the past week, allowing the initiative to move to the construction phase. The Council's scientific advisor, Professor Diana Van Cleef, gave the following statement. Not only will this new hydroponics facility provide biofoods and super grains for the populace of Colonia, it will also contain a dedicated research laboratory for a science team to develop new biotech crops. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their awards from Templar Barracks in the Randnid system. Congressman's criminal ties exposed. An exclusive exposé published by the Mars Tribune has revealed that a member of federal Congress has close ties to a criminal organization. The extensive feature began with this summary. Congressman Morgan Unwin has been in debt to the notorious Red Family Cartel for nearly a decade. Information uncovered by our reporters proves that he has unwon his influence to traffic enormous quantities of the cartel's drugs in order to keep his own addiction secret. Following publication of the feature, Mr. Unwin was arrested by the Federal Security Service, and now faces expulsion from Congress. An investigation into Red Family's narcotics operation in Olympus Village is also underway. A spokesperson for Congress made this statement. We are indebted to the Mars Tribune for uncovering a criminal conspiracy that might otherwise have continued undetected. This highlights the value of investigative journalism to the Federation. The Tribune's billionaire owner, Kingsley Cordova, has been invited to a special event by Congress to express its gratitude. As well as the Mars Tribune, his conglomerate Cordova Group runs many small companies in the Sol system. Far God cultists vanishing. The Federal Intelligence Agency has revealed that members of the Far God cult are disappearing in large numbers. Senior Agent Micah Whitefield told the media. On several occasions, our agents have entered hive chapels only to discover them completely empty. Intelligence from independent systems describes how entire chapters of the sect have disappeared overnight. We suspect that adherents are starting to abandon the cult and attempting to return to normal life. We urge everyone to report such individuals to the FIA, so we can investigate potential connection to the Thargoids. Dr. J. Mila Griffin, of the Galactic Interfaith Commune commented. Although it would be an understandable reaction to the FIA's relentless persecution, there are no reports of former Far God worshippers returning to their friends and families. These abrupt disappearances remain a mystery. Anti-cult campaigner Juanita Bishop also made a statement. It's obvious to me that these spies are returning to their Thargoid masters, to inform them of what they've learned. Arresting them isn't enough, we need a more permanent solution for these traitors. Aisling Duval wedding cancelled. Federal news channels have announced that the wedding of Princess Aisling Duval and Ambassador Jordan Rochester has been cancelled. The statement came from Congress member Isolde Rochester. The planned wedding between my son Jordan Rochester and Her Imperial Highness will no longer take place. We have contacted everyone involved with the event and closed down all related projects. The announcement follows anti-slavery campaigner Jarl Torido's confession that he and Aisling Duval were romantically involved for several months. Torido also claimed that the planned marriage was purely a political matter. The cancellation was confirmed by the Imperial Palace on Emerald, but there has been no direct response from Princess Duval or Ambassador Rochester. Political journalist Cassia Carvalho of the Imperial Herald commented. The fact that this news comes from Isolde Rochester gives weight to Jarl Torido's claims. If the marriage was a political scheme, that may explain why the Rochester family matriarch is the one to call it off, no longer trusting Princess Duval to play her part. Or perhaps this is simply the reaction of a mother, enraged at her future daughter-in-law's infidelity. Had the marriage taken place, would it have initiated an era of federal imperial cooperation, or triggered a new wave of conflict? It seems we will never know. Starport status update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues as a result of Thargoid sensor-related interference. The following starports are currently closed: Xiang Port, Garoki Aku, Surrey Gateway, Vesuvit, Scott Station, HIP 93685, Salgari Enterprise, Mawa, Wakata Port, Wandiara, Bruce Enterprise, Kabiku, Kubasov Station, HIP 90112, McDonald Platform, Hamlet's Harmony, Thirsk Enterprise, Montet. The following starports continue to experience technical issues: Weber Dock, Mean. Meanwhile, the following starports are on the brink of closure: Crown Plant, Mudra Makazi, Crown Terminal, LHS 355, Evans Platform, HIP 18305, Fort Lawrence, XEOC, Foxbase, Paya, Fraknoy Holdings, Paya, Gautier de Varence Folly, HIP 13269, Grimwood Ring, HIP 94863, Hague Port, OC, Hengdok, Samantundi, Harrington Gateway, 45 Turi, Lathe Station, Lathe, Lichtenberg Dock, 3 Corvi, McLeod Hub, Nornan, McAllister Port, HR 6680, Miller Terminal, XEOC, Parmit Anno Terminal, New Turi, Porges Horizons, G25034, Pre-Research Base, HIP 17225, Ross Orbital, Radomir, Seddon Gateway, Montet, Tanner Ring, Sokond, Wang Platform, Paya. Week in Review. Here are this week's major stories. Campaigner Jarl Torido has disclosed that he and Princess Aisling Duval have been conducting a secret romantic relationship, despite her betrothal to Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester. Torido claims that the princess accepted Rochester's proposal only as a means to advance her political plans. Princess Duval has refuted Torido's statement. Dr. Alfred Ulyanov, a leading exotheologian and an authority on the Thargoid cult, has been apprehended as a suspected Thargoid sympathizer. The Federal Intelligence Agency said that Dr. Ulyanov's involvement with the Thargoid cult made him a valid person of interest. Meanwhile, the Federal Times has highlighted 2 new personal computer designs currently in development, the Torque from Supertech, and the Duradrive from Herculean Machines. Both companies plan to reveal prototypes of their designs at a technology expo in October. A mining robot that went out of control in the Beta Hydri system has been located and disabled. MacArthur Mining Limited, which manufactures the robot, said that an inspection of the robot's remains confirmed suspicions that it had been placed in the incorrect standby mode, verifying that the malfunction was the result of human error. In other news, billionaire Zachary Rackham has been confirmed as the winner of a lottery prize of 1 billion credits. Rackham was quick to announce that he would donate his winnings to charity, although the Federal Times pointed out that the win coincided with a bill for unpaid taxes recently submitted to Rackham's company. Finally, a spokesperson for Aegis Research has announced that its rescue operation in the Pleiades has been enthusiastically assisted by the galactic community. Hundreds of pilots supported the operation by delivering stranded survivors and commodities to Don Arzok. And those are the main stories this week. Pleiades rescue operation concludes. A spokesperson for the Aegis Research has announced that its rescue operation in the Pleiades has been enthusiastically assisted by the galactic community. Hundreds of pilots supported the operation by delivering stranded survivors and commodities to Don Arzok in the Pleiades Sector IRW, D155 system. Superintendent Marla Paulson of Aegis Research released the following statement. The number of rescued survivors we have received is truly fantastic. We have also received enough food stocks to ensure that they're well taken care of, before moving them to dedicated refugee centers. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their rewards from Don Arzok in the Pleiades Sector IRW, D155 system. Ulyanov arrested. Dr. Alfred Ulyanov, a leading exotheologian and an authority on the Far God cult, has been apprehended as a suspected Thargoid sympathizer. The arrest took place at Dr. Ulyanov's home in the Rana system, where he and his family were taken into custody by the Federal Intelligence Agency. Research materials and computer systems were also removed from the property, according to witnesses. Professor Siobhan Vogel, of the Interstellar Association of Universities, registered a formal complaint. For Dr. Ulyanov's academic studies to be viewed as evidence that he is some kind of Thargoid agent is utterly ridiculous. This violation of his rights sets a dangerous precedent. Federal Intelligence Agency Senior Agent Micah Whitefield gave the following statement. When it comes to possible Thargoid allies, we cannot afford to overlook anything. Dr. Ulyanov's involvement with the Far God cult makes him a valid person of interest. We are also investigating the Galactic Interfaith Commune, the Spiritual Freedom Movement and other organizations that have supported Thargoid worshippers. Juanita Bishop, whose campaign against the Far God sect has continued to attract popular support, commented. This proves that there are Thargoid collaborators among us, in all walks of life. We must root them out before they start murdering innocent people. Aisling Duval's secret relationship revealed. Anti-slavery campaigner Jarl Torido has disclosed that he and Princess Aisling Duval have been conducting a secret romantic relationship, despite her betrothal to Federal Ambassador Jordan Rochester. Entertainment journalist Solomon Helios gave full details on his program. Following Jarl Torido's resignation from Unchained, I offered to tell his side of the story. Although he declined a formal interview, he did disclose that he could no longer bear working alongside Princess Duval. He admitted that he has been romantically involved with the princess since their first meeting several months ago. It seems they both felt it wise to keep the relationship a secret. According to Torido, the princess claimed not to have any romantic feelings for Ambassador Rochester, and insisted that the marriage was merely a means to advance her political plans. Initially Torido accepted this, but it seems that after her engagement the princess became unreachable. Torido says that his and Aisling's love has been sidelined by her political schemes. Quite simply, he feels betrayed. Princess Aisling Duval gave this response to the media. I am shocked that my good friend Solomon could believe such lies. It's obvious that Mr. Torido is being used by those who want to rekindle the hostility between the Empire and the Federation. My relationship with Jordan Rochester is entirely genuine. Colonia Hydroponics Initiative. Authorities in Colonia have decided to build a state-of-the-art hydroponics facility, due to research projecting a possible food shortage in the region. Professor Diana Van Cleef, a scientific advisor to the Colonia Council, gave the following statement. The growing populace of Colonia means we need to provide a reliable and sustainable source of food for the region. We aim to address this by building a new hydroponics facility that will serve Colonia for generations to come. The campaign is being run by Colonia Research Division, one of Colonia's partner organizations, which has asked pilots to deliver the requested mined resources to Templar Barracks in the Randnid system. The campaign begins on the 16th of August 3304 and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Restoring order in Kamichi. Authorities in the Kamichi system have reported a distressing rise in the number of criminals operating in the area. Reports indicate that these felons are attacking pilots traveling in the system, disrupting trade and generally causing mayhem. To counter this threat, Kamichi Incorporated has placed a kill order on all ships on its wanted list, and has promised to reward pilots who deliver bounty vouchers to game and port. The campaign begins on 16th of August 3304 and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Eagle Eye installations offline. Admiral Aidan Tanner has confirmed reports that Aegis's Eagle Eye installations are offline. The development is the result of Thargoid sensor-related interference at Dantuk Enterprise, home of Aegis Core, which has neutralized Aegis's ability to transmit data to the orbital installations. The Eagle Eye installations play a vital role in countering Thargoid aggression by monitoring energy level fluctuations at Thargoid surface sites. The data allows pilots to determine which systems the Thargoids intend to attack. Admiral Tanner elaborated on the issue in a brief statement. With Dantic Enterprise experiencing widespread technical issues, it's impossible for us to communicate with the Eagle Eye installations. And unless the installations are fed a continuous stream of data, they are essentially useless. The Eagle Eye installations are one of the most effective weapons we have in our war against the Thargoids, and we would be grateful to any pilots who could deliver meta-alloys to Dantic Enterprise, to help us get the starport back online. Billionaire wins lottery. Renowned billionaire Zachary Rackham, owner of Rackham Capital Investments, has been confirmed as the winner of a lottery prize of 1 billion credits. Tori Theopolis, a spokesperson for the Federal Grand Lottery, announced, "Our annual galactic jackpot has been claimed and the winning ticket verified. Our congratulations to Mr. Rackham, we hope he enjoys his billion credit prize." Zachary Rackham, known in some circles as Calico Zach, told the media, "To be honest, this caught me by surprise. I only buy lottery tickets out of habit. A holdover from the days when I used to rattle around space in a rusty old Sidewinder. Naturally, I'll be donating this windfall to various charitable programs." The Federal Times published this observation from financial journalist Brianna Blanco. "It's highly suspicious that a billionaire should play the lottery, and even more suspicious that he should win it. I'm sure that Calico Zach's accountants will indeed put this money to good use, paying the gargantuan bill for unpaid taxes recently submitted to his company. Once a pirate, always a pirate." New computer designs announced. Federal Times journalist Harlan Azri has highlighted two new personal computer designs currently in development. For a long time, the Sirius and Achilles corporations have been the main suppliers of personal computing devices, but two smaller companies are aiming to challenge that monopoly. The first company, Supertech, is working on a revolutionary design called the Torque, a flexible ring that coils around the user's wrist or neck. It uses high-resolution holographic projectors to surround the user with illuminated displays and motion-sensitive interfaces. The second company, Herculean Machines, has taken a more down-to-earth approach. The DuraDrive is a chunky, durable tablet designed to withstand rough handling. Herculean has promised a range of peripherals, allowing users to custom-build their own version of the device. Both companies plan to reveal prototypes of their designs at a technology expo in October. But can the market support two rival products? We'll no doubt be hearing more about the Torque and DuraDrive in the near future. Rogue robot located. A mining robot that went out of control on Homeland in the Beta Hydri system has been located and disabled. The MacArthur Mining Limited DG-090 machine disappeared after self-activating and tunneling underground. It remained lost for several days before being discovered over 100 kilometers from where it malfunctioned. Security Chief Sarah Kulkarni gave this report. "Our sensor drones detected the robot as it surfaced in the Blue Peaks mountain range. We believe it was obeying its primary programming by homing in on mineral ores. Federal Navy gunships were immediately dispatched. Once located, the robot was partially destroyed from the air before it could cause any further damage." Director Chen Emerson, of MacArthur Mining Limited, commented, "An inspection of the robot's remains confirmed our suspicion that it had been placed in the incorrect standby mode. Its comms array was then disrupted by local signals, activating a preset mining program. The DG-090 series is very reliable, and this unfortunate incident should not be perceived as a blemish on its excellent reputation." Starport Status Update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues as a result of Thargoid sensor-related interference. The following starports are currently closed: Kaidan Base, Tsheka; Tshaviano Dock, Hapots; Dantek Enterprise, Socho; Kanwa Enterprise, Cerno; Obruchev Orbital, Div; Pascal Platform, Ahayan; Pordenone Port, Bonawan; Sinisalo Holdings, HIP 18305; Stackpole Platform, Manite; Unity, New Yembo. Meanwhile, the following starports are on the brink of closure. Week in Review. Here are this week's major stories. A ship transporting former Rear Admiral Riri McAllister has vanished. McAllister, also known as Nexus, was on trial for her crimes as the founder of terrorist group the League of Reparation. While it is likely that the ship was destroyed by the League's enemies, the possibility that McAllister was liberated by surviving members of the League has not been ruled out. Meanwhile, campaigner Yal Torido has resigned from Unchain, the anti-slavery organization he founded with Princess Aisling Duval. His resignation has prompted speculation about a possible disagreement between him and Duval, with commentators citing earlier rumors of a romance between the pair. The Federal Intelligence Agency has apprehended further members of the Thargoid cult, to determine if the sect is communicating with the Thargoids. Some see the arrests as tantamount to religious persecution, while others claim that the Thargoid worshippers have invited suspicion upon themselves, and that the detainments are justified. In other news, a malfunctioning mining robot has run amok through a settlement on Homeland in the Beta Hydri system. Sensor drones are now searching for the robot, which tunneled underground after breaking out of its container. Security personnel are hoping to find the machine before it causes any serious damage. After sustained Thargoid attacks on civilian targets in the Thargoid Nebula, system authorities have launched a rescue operation to locate and recover survivors. Pilots have been asked to help with the operation, and also to contribute foods so those rescued can be adequately fed. Finally, a spokesperson for Aranbarahan Purple Creative has announced that its campaign to build a cargo ship has been enthusiastically received by the galactic community. Scores of pilots supported the campaign by delivering commodities to Barnes Terminal, and by eliminating agitators in Aranbarahan, thereby ensuring the safety of traders. And those are the main stories this week. The death of Nexus. A medical ship transporting the injured Riri McAllister has vanished and is presumed destroyed. Former Rear Admiral McAllister was on trial on Turner's World for her crimes as Nexus, the founder of terrorist group the League of Reparation. After being shot by the daughter of the assassinated Senator Nestor Cartesius, McAllister was to be taken to an advanced medical facility. Deputy Inspector Mara Klatt made this statement. Having lost contact with the vessel, we dispatched ships to its last known location. We found only debris, suggesting the ship was attacked and either vaporized or hijacked. Either way, we assume the transport's crew to be dead. This may have been another act of vengeance from those affected by the League's fanaticism. Alternatively, someone connected to the League may have wanted to silence McAllister to prevent her from revealing information. It's also plausible that this was a rescue mission, and that McAllister was liberated by surviving members of the League. The League of Reparation is no longer considered a threat. As such, the Tri-Superpower Task Force formed to investigate them has been disbanded. Agents from Alliance Interpol, the Federal Intelligence Agency and the Imperial Internal Security Service have returned to their regular duties. Meanwhile, Riri McAllister has been listed as missing rather than dead. Although her survival is unlikely, we cannot ignore the risk that the woman once known as Nexus may one day reappear to pursue her twisted beliefs. Rogue robot missing. A malfunctioning mining robot has run amok through a settlement on Homeland, in the Beta Hydri system. The robot in question was a MacArthur Mining Limited, DG090 model, designed to extract and process minerals from asteroids. It was one of 10 brand new robots being loaded onto an orbital cargo shuttle. Video feeds show the huge machine self-activating and breaking out of its container. It used its mining lasers, fusion drills and excavator claws to carve a path across the landing field. The robot then burrowed into the ground and disappeared. Security Chief Sarah Kulkarni gave the following statement to the media. Sensor drones are performing subterranean scans, but have not yet located the robot. We have therefore declared a regional state of emergency. Should the machine accidentally rupture a water main or pierce an underground power line, the potential for significant damage, even loss of life, is high. Director Chen Emerson of MacArthur Mining Limited made this statement. We are shocked by this incident, and an urgent inquiry is underway. The DG090 series is highly reliable and has never malfunctioned before. Our theory is that, due to human error, the unit was placed in the incorrect standby mode, and that stray signals from a nearby comms network triggered a preset program. We are supporting all efforts to locate the robot and shut it down. Pleiades rescue operation. After sustained Thargoid attacks on civilian targets in the Pleiades Nebula, system authorities have launched a rescue operation to locate and recover survivors. The operation is being coordinated by Superintendent Marla Polson of Aegis Research, who made this announcement. System authorities in the Pleiades have been channeling their resources into combating the Thargoid menace. As a result, search and rescue initiatives have been neglected, but we are determined to plug that gap. That means a lot of civilians rescued from escape pods, which also means a lot of hungry mouths to feed, so we'll need to bolster our current food stocks as a precautionary measure. Pilots are requested to recover occupied escape pods and damaged escape pods. In addition, the following food resources are also required: fruit and vegetables, grain, and food cartridges. Both recovered pods and food stocks should be delivered to Donosok, in the Pleiades Sector IRW, D155 system. The campaign begins on the 9th of August 3304 and will run for 1 week. If the final target is met earlier than planned, the campaign will end immediately. Aranbarahan campaign concludes. A spokesperson for Aranbarahan Purple Creative has announced that its campaign to build a cargo ship has been enthusiastically received by the galactic community. Scores of pilots supported the campaign by delivering commodities to Barnes Terminal, and by eliminating agitators in Aranbarahan, thereby ensuring the safety of traders. Pilots who contributed to the initiative can now collect their rewards from Barnes Terminal, in the Aranbarahan system. Further arrests of Fargod cultists. The Federal Intelligence Agency has apprehended further members of the Fargod cult, to determine if they are communicating with the Thargoids. Media channels report a division in public opinion regarding the FIA's actions. Some see the arrests as illegal and tantamount to religious persecution. Others claim that the Fargod worshippers have invited suspicion upon themselves, and that the detainments are justified. Dr. Jamila Griffin of the Galactic Interfaith Commune commented, "We strongly oppose this hostility against the Fargod sect. These arrests are motivated by fear rather than evidence. We must fight for the civil rights of our fellow citizens, even if we do not share their beliefs." A prominent campaigner against the Fargod cult, Juanita Bishop, told the media, "This is a victory for right-thinking people everywhere. Those warped alien lovers are a blight on our system, one that should have been eradicated long ago." Senior Agent Micah Whitefield of the FIA stated, "This operation is purely a security matter. Under federal law, any action that undermines enemy activity during wartime is legal, including the suspension of civil liberties. We are expanding our investigation to include all members of this organization and anyone with a connection to it." Yal Torido resigns from Unchain. Campaigner Yal Torido has resigned from Unchain, the anti-slavery organization he founded with Princess Aisling Duval. Unchain's press office released this statement. "We can confirm that Yal Torido has officially resigned from his position as co-chief executive officer, effective immediately. Princess Duval remains our patron and CEO. We wish Mr. Torido all the best with his future endeavors." Rima Falco, a journalist writing for the Imperial Herald, made these observations. Considering Torido's passionate rhetoric against imperial slavery, it's surprising for him to abandon an organization that he co-founded. The recent assassination attempt against Princess Duval at an Unchained fundraiser may have caused him to regret allying with such a volatile political figure. As yet, there is no comment from Her Imperial Highness. This has led to speculation that there was a falling out between the two. Rumors of romance between them never quite went away, even after the princess's engagement to Jordan Rochester. Is this perhaps a jealous rival storming off in a fit of pique? Representatives from Unchained have said that their campaigning, fundraising and slave liberation programs will continue as normal. Starport Status Update. This report presents the latest data on starports experiencing technical issues as a result of Thargoid sensor-related interference. The following starports are currently closed: Brady City, Chauville; Serali Port, Setot; Flag Station, 41 New Psilon 4, Eridani; Nagata Port, Setot; North Dock, Amarnet; Schmidt Platform, BD, 08642; Tani Hub, Inunikori; Vandriat Woolly Orbital, Jabugali; Vinci Ring, HIP 91085; Young Husband Station, Miku. Meanwhile, The following starports are on the brink of closure. Week in review. Here are this week's major stories. An attempt to assassinate Princess Aisling Duval has been prevented by the Imperial Internal Security Service. The attempt occurred in the ZOW system during a fundraising event. The IISS is analyzing the explosives used in the attempt to determine their origin. Meanwhile, former Rear Admiral Riri McAllister has been shot. She is currently undergoing medical treatment. The incident took place at the Alliance Chamber of Justice on Turner's World in the Alioth system. McAllister was on trial for organizing acts of terrorism as Nexus, founder of the League of Reparation. The Federal Intelligence Agency has launched an investigation into the Far God cult. Several members of the sect have been arrested. An FIA agent said that the purpose of the investigation was to confirm that the sect was not in contact with Thargoid forces, or being influenced by them. In other news, Aran Barahan Purple Creative, an independent organization based in the Aran Barahan system, has announced plans to build a massive cargo ship to transport goods out of the booming system. In support of this goal, the organization has placed an open order for various commodities, and has promised to reward pilots who deliver these commodities to Barnes Terminal in the Aram Barahan system. Celebrated author Olav Redcourt has cancelled the promotional tour for his latest novel. In a statement, the author said he was abandoning the historical romance genre in favor of a new science fiction saga. The author's agent responded by underscoring that science fiction is a niche genre with a tiny audience. Finally, the Alliance has announced that its appeal for mined resources has reached a successful conclusion, having received an overwhelming response from the galactic community. Huge quantities of raw material were delivered to California Gateway over the past week, which will be used to construct an Ocelis starport in the MEL-22, Sector GMVC-28 system. And those are the main stories this week. Far God cult under investigation. The Federal Intelligence Agency has launched an investigation into the Far God cult. Several members of the sect have been arrested for interrogation. Senior Agent Mika Whitefield of the FIA released this statement. Given the organization's proclaimed interest in the Thargoids, it is vital that we confirm they are not in contact with Thargoid forces, or being influenced by them. The FIA is working with local security agencies across many systems to ascertain the truth. The Rewired News Service has broadcast footage of armed federal troops forcing their way into the cult's hive chapels and dragging cult members into armored vehicles. There was no sign of resistance from the Far God adherents. Other video feeds show groups of citizens trying to shield the Far God worshippers, while rival groups can be seen cheering on the soldiers. Juanita Bishop, who runs a campaign against the Far God sect, told the media, "We knew these foul cultists were Thargoid spies. Now we're going to be proved correct. They should have been rounded up and executed weeks ago."